my beautiful blessings. Today we will be discussing the three major types of narcissists: the grandiose, the covert, and the malignant. Now, I need you guys to keep an open mind with this, because as I go through these traits and tactics, I want you to understand that this can be anyone you may know. Your mom, your dad, family members in general, your spouse, your partner, your coworker, your boss, your political leader, your inspirations, your teachers, your students. No one has mercy in this situation. So as you listen and observe, you may come to realize that this is a lot of people you may know, or a lot of people in your circle. And this could also be the same person you would think that loves you and cares about you. But today we're going to find out whether that's true or not based off of what I'm going to tell you. Before we get into it, I just want to give you guys a little general information on what a narcissist actually is. So, these people are very egocentric. They're always seeking attention. They have empathy, but they choose not to use it in situations where they know they can and they know it's needed. They're also very selfish and very boastful. These people don't think about anyone but themselves, and they don't do anything for anyone unless it has something to do with them looking good or benefiting them in some type of way. Both narcissists are so dissatisfied and discontent with themselves that they have to put on a facade for other people to actually like them. Otherwise, if they were being them true selves, they would have no one in their circle, because then everyone would see the real them. These are not genuine people. And in any relationship with a narcissist, you may feel self-doubt, on edge, in defense mode, confused. You may experience frustration and helplessness due to all the dishonesty that goes on in your relationships. You may also tend to second guess yourself in situations, or you may also have a hard time making decisions. So as you get to know this person, or as you get deeper into the relationship, or the older you get in a family situation, the more you start to notice these feelings come about, because everything comes out with these people in due time. I promise, in due time, you will see the real them. And sometimes it don't even take but a month. So before I actually get into the three major types, I want to go ahead and let you guys know that I will be doing a side-by-side comparison with the grandiose and the covert. The only reason I'm not doing it with the malignant narcissist is because the malignant narcissist is very much in resemblance to the grandiose narcissist. But I would just say it's more like a grandiose narcissist on crack. Like it's literally like a grandiose narcissist times 10,000. You know, this is the very end of the narcissistic spectrum before it actually goes into psychopathy. And then in the end, I'm going to give you that information you need to know about the malignant, because knowing their personality type and knowing them is also very important. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so to begin with the covert narcissist, they go with this victimized approach to control their victim, and their main tool of manipulation is guilt tripping and or by playing upon someone's guilt, especially when they know that you empathize for them and their sorry circumstances. They will get you really hooked in by reeling you in with this sob story. So when you meet them, they may tell you a situation like, my ex has cheated on me, so I'm just going by my lonely, or life treated them unfair in some type of way, or they never was able to accomplish their dreams in life, or they had a rough childhood, so they ain't really have nobody, or whatever the mishaps are, they're going to tell you. What they're doing is trying to be vulnerable with you, and so they're only telling you this so that they can trigger that guilt inside of you that makes you want to heal them, rescue them, or fix the broken person they are, because they only go for those type of people. And in the time that you think you guys are genuinely getting to know each other and you think that you guys are building a connection, that's not what's happening, because in the back of the narcissist's mind, they're really just analyzing the type of person you are, the insecurities you have, and they're just seeing how much they can get away with you. And in a time where you hold them accountable for something, or when things don't go the way the narcissist wants it to, or when you gave them constructive criticism for the better or to actually benefit them, you will see that they will throw the very same things that you told them in the beginning that were very vulnerable and insecure to you right back in your face. On the other hand, we have the grandiose narcissist, who will actually brag about who they are and will throw in a couple of stories to emphasize their character because they want to impress you. They want to look good in the eyes of everyone, and they genuinely just want to be admired. So they will share anything that they feel will captivate the outlook that a person has on them, even if that means sprinkling in a couple of lies just to make themselves sound better and to exaggerate the situation or the story. And they will tell you how they've done this for someone and done that for someone, just to basically make themselves seem like this good person, when in actuality they're not doing it for the good of it, you know, but we'll get into that. These types of narcs are what you would classify as wealthy, successful. They own businesses, own companies. These are the same type of people that will pay for the fancy dinners. They love the 3 P's: profit, pleasure, and power. And not only do they love them, but they also use these things to control people, as well as the malignant narcissist. They will also use their looks, their money, their gift, and their success to control people. And they portray themselves to be this good-hearted, well-mannered person. These people are also what you would classify as the life of the party. Bernie Mac is the perfect example of a grandiose narcissist. Their main tool of manipulation is love bombing. They will go all out during this stage. They will show you love. They will show you off. They will buy you gifts. They will show you attention. They will validate you. They will take you on dates. They may even travel with you, all in the beginning, plan a future, do all this. But sad to say, these things are temporary, because over time, you will start to realize that it'll slowly slow down until it completely stops, because this doesn't last forever. Love bombing is for the purpose of reeling you in, so that once you're in, they can stop, because now they know that you're in that relationship for good. They know they got your trust. They know that you're here to stay. So that's when all hell breaks loose. Number 2. The covert narcissists portray themselves to be a sweet, a loving, a caring, an affectionate, and a giving person. One who wants to actually take on the needs of other people, and the one who really listens to you when you need them to. They love to play victim, and they are quick to blame themselves for a situation to create that vulnerability with that person, to make it seem like they genuinely just don't know why people do this to them, and they don't know why they're treated this way, as they know in return that person will turn around and comfort them and validate them and tell them things like, the way other people treat you is not your fault, don't worry about it. They're good at reeling their victims in with these sob stories, as I mentioned before. So it's easy to make that mistake of thinking that they are codependent. And if you don't know what the difference between a codependent and a narcissist is, check out my last video, and I will link it down in the description below. They take on this narrative until the day you don't do things their way, or until the day you stop validating them and stop listening to them complain after you have built this relationship, or until the day you stop putting up with all of their unappreciation and you actually stand your ground and you actually put up boundaries, or until the day you actually become your own successful person. Then that's when they do a whole 360 and you're like, what's going on? What happened? Why are they now acting like this? Why are they treating me this way? Or why are they talking so poorly to me? Or why are they talking so poorly about me to other people? But just so you know, that's not a switch up. That's who they really are. You ever see the movie Case 39, where the social worker tries to save the little girl from what seemed like the abusive parents who were trying to kill her by throwing her in the oven?
What are we doing here, Emily? Saving her life.
They're asleep like we should be.
They're not asleep. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear anything.
Leave her alone! Did you hear that?
Police, open up!
Break it down! Break it down!
So they busted in, they saved her, and the social worker actually ended up taking her in. But my reference to this movie is that the covert narcissist, that is aka Lily or Lilith, the child of the abusive parents, is the covert narcissist. And the name Lilith is also known as the infamous demon. But to elaborate on her being a covert narcissist, when the appointment came for Emily, the social worker, to talk to the parents of Lilith and to meet Lily herself, Lily saw her and she was acting shy, she was acting nervous, and when she introduced herself, she was acting innocent. And when Emily went to talk to her at school that very next day or so, she began to give her these crocodile tears and said that her parents hate her and that they want to send her to hell. This is an example of how a covert narcissist are in the beginning. As I mentioned before, they would put on this sweet, innocent victim role to make this person fall for them and want to be there for them, when it's really them who are causing the problem, when it's really them who is the problem, and the person doesn't realize that until after the fact that they've built this connection with that person. And once you back away because you see how they're acting, their favorite line to hit you with is, "Are you mad at me?"
Are you mad at me? No. No, I'm just tired.
And then you'll be quick to say, "No, I'm not mad," or you'll be like, "No, but," when genuinely you are, because they acted out of character and you didn't know that this is how they were or this is who they actually are. But the reason these people are even vulnerable is because they want to assure that you can trust them and open up to them just as they have done with you, so that when they later exploit you for the very same things you just told them in that moment where you were being vulnerable with them, and they exploit you for it, or when you get older and you disconnect from them because you see that there is a serious issue going on with them and who they are, it will have a serious impact on you and you wanting to go back to those early stages of childhood or go back to those early memories that you had in a relationship. And so once Lily saw that the social worker was trying to do everything in her power to save her, she knew that she had her hooked. She knew that she was going to be there for her. And so when Lily was able to actually manipulate Emily into letting her stay with her, that's when all hell broke loose and the real her came out. Like, it was no joke. And then Emily realized that this is not the same little girl I was trying to protect and save in the beginning. This is not the same little girl that was banging, crying, and screaming for help. And why it was so confusing for Emily is because Lily made it seem like she feared her parents when in actuality her parents feared her. And so if you guys do decide to watch this movie, which is a really good movie and will help you understand the basis of narcissism and even codependency, as the mom was a codependent, you can check it out on Netflix. And like I said, it's called Case 39. Back over to the grandiose narcissist. As I've mentioned before, these people portray themselves to be a confident, well-mannered, and good-hearted person, which we all know at this point that they are not. These people will also try to be the best in and at everything, as they see everything as a competition no matter who you are. And these people also know everyone, they talk to everyone, and they socialize with everyone. They brag about their accomplishments and the deeds that they do for other people. And so, as I was stating earlier, they don't do good deeds to do good deeds. They do good deeds to boast about them to others, to make themselves look good, and to throw what they have done for that person back in their face and or to prove a point. Everything that they do for you will always come with strings attached, so never expect anything and not give anything back in return to them. And so when you stop paying them as much attention as you used to, or when you call them out for their ridiculous and terrifying behavior, or when you set a boundary, or when you give up validating them just for the cause of it and just to make them feel better, the grandiose and the malignant narcissist will become rageful. They will lash out. They may gaslight you. They may turn the situation back on you and say things that they know will hurt you back in return just to have that upper hand. And so it's like you're witnessing a whole nother person, a person that you've never even met, the person that was not the person that you did meet in the beginning, but in actuality, this is who they are, and you're now witnessing that true core insecurity that's peeking through the curtain once you hit them on that narcissistic injury. And once their adult tantrum is over, they're gonna act like nothing happened. They're gonna act like nothing happened. Like they will legit come to you later after they earlier lashed out on you, or they may even come to you, or you may even encounter them the very next day after you guys just had this big argument and this big lash out and fuss out, and they will disregard everything that happened and act like nothing's going on, while you're sitting there scarred and just completely confused with the reaction they gave you earlier or even that day or night before. And they're just gonna be like, today's a new day and we don't got time for that, and whatever I said to you don't even matter because today's a new day. That's literally how they think, and it can be so annoying, so confusing, so frustrating, because it's like, do you not see what you just did? Do you not realize how you just made me feel? Do you not comprehend that you literally just cussed me out and now you're acting like it didn't happen? The grandiose narcissist and the malignant narcissist literally feels like they're on a higher pedestal than anybody else in the rest of the world, and that all the rules and regulations that should apply to everyone doesn't apply to them because they're just this special, amazing, and different person that don't have to go with the daily rules of the world. The grandiose narcissists are popular for many different reasons, and they are praised for being them, especially in the workforce, which only really enables them to be that false person even more, and people don't even realize it. And these people can be very loud, extremely talkative. And when they talk about themselves all day. They want to talk about themselves all day. They don't care, how your day went or what you had going on. All they want to do is really talk about them. And so they will even take it upon themselves to change the conversation with them or even cut you off to talk about them. These are the same type of people you would classify as the life of a party. Like, they're the utmost, just fun people. And these people are also very funny. They often become comedians, which is why I said Bernie Mac is the perfect example of a grandiose narcissist. Self-absorbed, successful, wealthy, with a great sense of humor. Going back into the covert narcissist, they are very introverted and they like to be isolated into small groups because they simply don't do well in big social groups. These people are also not socially skilled when it comes to meeting and impressing other people, unlike the grandiose narcissist, which is why they take that victim approach, and it's also why they come across as dividend, because it's like, if I can't charm you, then I gotta guilt you. They act like a victim to others and will pity themselves in front of other people, while on the contrary, they have the utmost entitlement. They literally think they're too good for everyone and everything, and they also think they deserve everything just because of how poorly things did play out in their earlier stages of life. The covert narcissist will also isolate those closest to them away from their own social groups or their own partner, as they need that consistent attention, and they feel as though if other people come around to the people that they are close to, they will steal that love and attention that the victim has for the narcissist. So if they're the narcissist's friend, the narcissist will get jealous and feel replaced when you hang out with that other friend. In a narcissist's mind, they don't see that people can spread out their love to everyone. They literally feel like you can only give love to them and them only. And really, the ones closest to the covert narcissists are the only ones who still see the good in them. So anyone, of course, who tries to I don't know, love or care or be friends with the victim of the narcissist will oppose as a threat and will try to get rid of them in some way, shape, or form. They don't care who you are. So the grandiose narcissist is extroverted and is often an entertainer in social groups. They undeniably enjoy public attention and are the ones who don't mind making a scene because regardless of what attention it is, they want attention. They can get very obnoxious and are often willing to do things for clout or PDA, also known as public display of affection. They will compete with those who they think are better than them, and they allow anyone and everyone to validate them because, as I mentioned, they want to be the center of attention. They will refer to themselves as God or deem that there is no God. Behind closed doors, this narcissist is controlling, and they control those that are closest to them and undervalue them as they are only their supply. And in short terms, a narcissist supply just means a person who gives that narcissist contentment or validation or approval for being themselves, when really that's the false narrative, and then they soon see who they are later on. So majority of covert narcissists are women, not all, just majority. And so for number 4, in the workplace, these type of women can be lackadaisical, and if they're a boss, they will make everyone do their work and will purposely do things to make that person feel away. They expect everything to be given to them and hate or refuse to work for it themselves. Both men and women covert narcissists can use their entitlement as a parent or as a partner or as a boss to essentially guilt trip you to doing things that they want, especially in the workplace. And so when the covert narcissists see other people achieve success in such a way that they can't or that they were unable to, they will often get jealous. They will downplay their success, or they will undermine their hard work ethic instead of actually supporting the person as they should. On the other hand, majority of the grandiose narcissists are men, and so in the workplace, they are what you would classify as a workaholic. Oh my goodness. Where a covert narcissist doesn't want to work, a grandiose narcissist can't stop working. They put work before everything, so even if that means losing quality time with their family or their lovers or even themselves, to just simply make money and stay on their grind. This is the one who never shows up to occasions or events, or don't even come around often because they'd rather work, or they can't even get off of work because of how much they work. They even think of work in their free time because working is literally always on their mind. They use work to escape. They use it to build their satisfaction, and they're also willing to work overtime all the time. They don't believe in taking breaks, and working often helps them get rid of any fear or guilt they may have. And that's more so because the work that they accomplish at their job is something that they're really good at, something that they truly practice and they hustle at, so they get that attention and they get that awareness that they need, and it's something that they lack when it comes to everyday issues or relationship issues. In the face of disappointment, the covert narcissist is very ungrateful, and they're never truly satisfied with what you do, no matter how many options you offer to their problem, no matter how expensive the gift is you bought to please them on that holiday, no matter how many times you've kissed their ass. Nothing ever pleases them. They're never just happy with what they have. They're never just grateful for what's right in front of them. And they can also be very passive aggressive, especially when you do things to them and they don't even speak up about it. And in simple terms, passive aggressive means to deny what you are feeling. So if you're mad, you would deny that you're feeling mad, and then they will get mad for feeling mad and will resent that they feel that way. So ultimately, they will make indirect gestures and show you that, hey, I'm mad and I'm upset with how you made me feel. But they will never tell you that. They will just essentially try to get you to chase that emotion out of them, and ultimately will just get revenge and will plan and will plot on how to get back at you in silence and make you feel the way that you made them feel later down the road. And yes, they plan this out in their head. It's quite disturbing, but they do it. And they also will use a lot of sarcasm just to get their point across, especially when they're pissed off with you. Covert narcissists can be really indirect with how they feel, even though it's evident in their actions that they're feeling some kind of way. So for instance, they will make a statement and then follow up with something like, yeah, but I'm not pointing fingers, or yeah, but just saying, or I find it funny how pretty much being indirect and at the same time throwing shade. In the face of disappointment and or chaos with the grandiose narcissist, they may lash out on you or anyone that's in close proximity of them when they're having a bad day, simply because they don't know how to regulate their emotions, even if that person was trying to cheer them up. But it just simply doesn't work, or better yet, it makes it worse. But a malignant narcissist may even try to abuse you and just take all their anger out on you, and they genuinely don't care how you feel about it. And any narcissist, for that matter, don't care about the feelings or opinions of other people. The only time they do is if that person holds some form of power in their mind, like an idol or an inspiration they have, or a person who's actually in a position of a higher power than they are. When it comes to how a covert narcissist views life, they often feel failed or not given a fair chance. So they always want to talk about what they could have been, who they could have been, and the many skills and roles that they could have taken on in life or showed other people, but they just chose not to. Or they may even try to force their dreams that they were not able to accomplish upon their child. When it comes to the grandiose narcissist perspective of life, they will gladly show off their success. They will gladly show off their accomplishments. They may even repeat the same stories that they did for other people. And they may even repeat the same accomplishments that they made over and over again to other people. And it's like, you've heard this 1,000 times. And they may even blame their child, or may blame the partner, or may even blame anyone for reasons that they didn't go beyond their success. So even then, it's like they're still not even looking at what they've already accomplished, but looking surpast that and just trying to make it seem as though they could have been even better, you know? These people are just too much for me. So when you give a covert narcissist constructive criticism, they may get upset and rageful, and in return of your constructive criticism that may have genuinely been to help them, not to shame them, not to throw anything in their face, but genuinely to help them out, they will react ferociously. And they may respond in a way that you would have never expected. They may, begin to blame shift, and they may begin to tell you what you need to correct and deny or ignore what you're telling them to do. Or they may even deny the advice you're trying to give them and just make excuses. Or they may project their feelings onto you, or in other words, telling you how you feel when it's obviously you that's not feeling that way, but it's them. So say for instance, if they're mad, they will tell you you're mad, and you're like, no, I'm good. You're the one who came off that way at me. When you give criticism to the grandiose narcissist, they act in the same way as the covert narcissist. But the only difference, or the major difference, is that the grandiose narcissist takes so much pride in themselves that they may not even listen to what you have to say. And they may even walk away or try to talk over you or cut off what you're saying to get their point across, or to basically justify why they are doing this or why they are doing this way, instead of trying to actually correct themselves and make it a better habit or make it a better thing. And it's also hard to get this point across to them because they always think they're right in situations. It's like you can't tell them they're wrong because they're always right. And because of this, like I said before, they may even reject your help. It's almost like they have no regard for you trying to help them for the better, simply because they feel like you can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me who to be. You can't tell me how to raise my child. You can't tell me how to do this and that, when you're just sincerely trying to help them. And this can even result in them dismissing other people's knowledge simply because they think they know it all, or they think they don't need to be told by anyone how to be a better person or how to do things a better way. So, in a relationship, the covert narcissist may be hesitant to approach you, or when you approach them in a situation, it may seem like they were shy and friendly. Because remember, like I mentioned earlier, they're not the best at showing themselves off or the best in social situations. And in fact, like we mentioned before, they pity themselves. And because they don't have that same charming effect as the grandiose do, They have to guilt trip their victims into being with them. In a relationship with the grandiose narcissist, they know how to spit their game. They know just who they want to talk to, they know just what to say, and they know just how to get to you. These are the ones that will flirt with you and are very charismatic. Like I said, they take pride in the love bombing stage, which is the first stage of the trauma bonded cycle that will soon begin once you get deep in that relationship. And during that stage, it will feel just too good to be true. They will give you all their love, their undivided attention. They will buy you gifts. They will stay on the phone with you all day and night to get to know you. They will talk with you hours on end, and it's like they're very intimate with you in the beginning. They will do all these things. They will act a way to really make you think that they genuinely have your best interest or your best interest at heart, when in actuality they don't, and they want to exploit that. They will give you a future. They will give you a hope that things will happen in a way you want it to. They will paint this pretty picture, and like I mentioned before, it soon fades away. And it's like in these relationships, everything happens so fast. It's like, you know, you went from being in puppy love to just wreaking havoc everywhere. You know, it's like nothing's the same anymore. And these narcissists are known to treat you good around others and belittle you in private. So it's almost like if you were to speak out against them, you look crazy. And just a little fun fact before we do get into the malignant narcissist, the grandiose narcissist and the covert narcissist both have underlying traits of each other. So it's almost like this person can be majority grandiose, but they still have some traits of a covert. Like I said before, this is just the 3 major types. If we're being completely honest, there's 7 in total, but these are just the major 3 that you will come across in your everyday life. So as I stated in the beginning of the video, the malignant narcissist is very reminiscent of the grandiose narcissist. It's just like a grandiose narcissist on crack. To elaborate on how they're alike, mainly it would just be in how they reel in their victim with the love bombing stage, and when you go against the grain with them, how upset they get. They reel in their victim by coming off as very passionate and very just catering to you and just wanting to pursue you, and everything's normal up until the point where you do go against the grain that one day, or you do make them feel less of themselves one day unintentionally. They may even abuse you, and they will change the outlook that people have on you in general and with your mutual friends. And they will just do this by telling false things about you or just talking bad or poorly about you. They may even tell that person what you've done to them without them telling that person what they've done to you, which was pretty much everything. And it's not to say that, you know, the other person doesn't make mistakes, but more often than not, it's the narcissist who causes these things to happen. And with the malignant narcissist, there is no apologizing, there is no rekindling, because what was done is done. And the malignant narcissists do hold grudges, and if there is anything that they prioritize and take pride in, it is getting revenge and winning. And what's crazy is that these two both go hand in hand, because oftentimes how the malignant narcissists win is by getting revenge. So you literally have to watch out for these people, because they will get revenge in many ways. They will slash your tires, or they will, you know, do like these are the narcissists that go above and beyond, or will claim custody and don't really care to take care of the kid, but just claim custody just to get back at you. These are the narcissists that go above and beyond to get back at you, because a breakup is not enough for them. Once you leave them or once you do things to them, they're going to get back at you in several ways, and they're going to try to demolish you. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I will be coming out with more content next week, and you know, if you want to stay updated, just turn on those post notifications and you will get notified whenever I post. I love you, my beautiful blessings, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. I hope this video helped you in some way, shape, or form. Share with anybody you think needs to know this information, and I'm out.